Landon, what are you doing?
4-year-old Landon Weber.
Okay, let's see what's in there.
Okay then.
And 5-year-old Bison Burt. They don't know each other but have a lot in common. Both little boys have spent a lot of time in hospitals. Their mothers also have something in common, a disturbing allegation lodged against them. Perhaps the worst accusation any mother could face. Children's Protective Services has accused both women of making their little boys very sick.
You spend your life trying to make it better. And to think that somebody could, think that you would do this. It's unbearable.
I've seen 6 mental health specialists who say I don't have what they're accusing me of, but yet I have to keep going to more mental health specialists.
The similarities in their situations are striking.
You walking in your new walker?
Weber's 4-year-old son Landon was born premature.
Born with multiple medical problems.
Bert's 5-year-old son Bison was also a preemie.
He had high blood pressure and 2 holes in his heart.
Jennifer Weber and Devonna Burt both contacted Fox 26 Investigates after CPS took custody of their little boys. Both mothers say doctors diagnosed their sons with a rare disorder called mitochondrial disease. Studies show symptoms of that disease can cause some doctors to falsely accuse mothers of Munchausen by proxy, a condition in which parents seek attention by harming their children.
The allegation is really medical child abuse, okay? And that happens when, for one reason or another, the medical system is used to perpetrate physical abuse on the child.
We went, 2.5 years not understanding what was wrong with Landon.
After Landon was diagnosed with mitochondrial disease, the Webers moved their family from St. Louis to Houston so the boy could be treated by a doctor here who specializes in the disease. A medical professional called CPS, alleging Jennifer was causing her little boy to get sicker.
Somebody from the same hospital that the specialist works in.
One of the concerns was just that he was always sick, either when he was around his mother, or that's when the infection occurred, when he was around his mother.
I thought, they'll come in, they'll do their investigation, and it'll be over. They won't, pursue this any further. I was wrong.
The Webers' attorney provided CPS with medical experts, one who testified it wasn't even possible for Weber to cause her son's infections.
The only way mom could be causing this is if she had a microbiology degree and had a lab in her living room, neither of which is true.
For months, CPS would only allow supervised visits for the Webers to see their son in the hospital.
We actually went almost a month without seeing him.
Now CPS tells us it no longer believes Jennifer had anything to do with her son's medical problems. The agency says the boy does have a rare medical disorder and plans to reunite Landon with his parents very soon.
What we believe now is that she's having to care for a child who has a lot of medical needs. He's medically fragile, and that and the family needs just training.
While the Webers are glad the ordeal is almost over, the false allegation in the CPS investigation cost them a substantial amount of money.
It's cost my clients a lot of money, both in expert fees and documentation, and my fees, of course.
What did you learn through this whole experience with CPS?
Not to trust anybody.
Yeah.
As for Devonna Burt, there's no end in sight. In fact, she's facing a trial this summer. CPS wants to terminate her parental rights.
We don't know if the parents can ever be appropriate caregivers.
CPS says once they denied Burt access to her son, his medical condition vastly improved.
We went from having a child who is very ill under the care of the mother and the father to a child who's a happy, healthy, normal child now.
I've never lied about Bison's symptoms. I've never lied about that.
Burt's attorneys accuse CPS of ignoring doctors who say Bison's medical procedures were all necessary and Devonna didn't do anything to make him sick.
A lot of this could have been disproved. if CPS had talked to all the doctors involved.
I think any parent should be terrified of how it's handled and how it's just run through the system without the full investigation being done. I think that should scare any parent or anyone.
But CPS says medical personnel from 2 hospitals strongly believe Devonna Burt is causing her son's illnesses.
If you care about my son, why didn't you pull me aside if you thought I was doing something wrong? But they didn't do that. They just took him away.
And if CPS has its way, Devonna Burt's parental rights will be terminated and Bison will be placed for adoption. Randy Wallace, Fox 26, investigates.